Hey, I'm Aaron, and in this video we'll take a look at some of the technology used to dry hops here in the Pacific Northwest. In this animation, we're looking at a side elevation view of a typical hop drying facility. In green, we have the hops, and below, a nice big fan and a really big burner that forces hot air over the hops. This process typically takes between 7 and 8 hours, and we use propane or natural gas usually to fuel the burner. The changes we made in 2024 to modify this process were intended to reduce the fuel consumption. So we added control to how much of the outside air was being pulled in and enabled a return path for hot air above the hops to get recycled and pulled back into the burner. In these two charts, we're seeing some of the data from how this system actually ran. Up top in the green line, we have the kiln temperature, how hot the air is that's drying the hops. In blue, we're looking at how wet the air is that's being pulled into the burner. That's the thing we want to control in order to make sure that we don't put too much water back onto the hops and make the drying process longer. The dotted line is our moisture set point, so we're trying to keep the air that we feed into the burner at or below that moisture set point. In the bottom chart, we're seeing some of the traces of the damper positions as that air is being mixed. So the system is working to mix the air sources to get as much heat as possible, but without letting the air get too wet. As we can see, as the dry progresses, the air becomes dry enough where we can pull as much of the return warm air as possible and essentially close off the outside ambient air. Reducing the amount of temperature that the burner has to raise the air is how we save fuel. The results we saw from our trial in 2024 were really encouraging. We saw a 27% reduction in propane used per bale of hops dried. With the project cost, that put us at about a 2.4-year payback period. And in this case, we were able to use a grant from the USDA to further reduce the project cost down to 2.1 years. Thanks for watching.